we are not in a relationship with God because of the content of our intellect. That has never been the Christian position. I mean, I'm not saying you don't need certain content in your intellect. You do. But, or you ought to have it. But in fact, a person's relationship with God depends on the direction of their will. It is the state of your will that determines whether you are in a relationship with God. Do you guys understand the difference between those two? Maybe, maybe not. I'm getting blank stares.
Ask the question again, could you, please?
Here's what let me explain it a little bit. So, in our wonderful goal of having proper doctrine, and I hope we all do have proper doctrine, we can sometimes come to think that I am in a relationship with God because I have proper doctrine. Right? But in fact, it is the direction of my will. Am I saying yes or no to God that determines whether I'm in a relationship with him? And the reason we know that is because little children can be saved, and people who are mentally deficient can be saved, right? All sorts of people can be saved, even those who cannot understand the niceties of proper doctrine. And we know that. It's the direction of their will. The disciples themselves didn't even understand half of the gospel, but they were saying yes to God. Do you understand what I'm saying? That means that when you engage with someone, yes, you want to convince them of things that are true, but really it's their will that needs to turn, right? It's their ability to trust God that has to change. And of course, that's the movement of the Holy Spirit in them, and oftentimes the intellectual work we do is important. We can remove important objections. We can bring things to their mind that they hadn't thought of. That's all true, right? But ultimately, if we do that in a belligerent way when we're talking to them, we might prove it to them intellectually, but they can't change their will, right? Or at least we've mucked up the process of them changing their will. So that just helps us to remember that relationship is really primary.